What the heck is eggnog, and what the heck does it have to do with CarryTrainer? Let's dig right into that. 1. History. According to the history books, this probably derived from a medieval drink called posset. And posset was a drink made of milk, eggs, booze, and oftentimes they would put things like grains, breads, oats in there. If you think about it, why would you do all that? Because it was food. It was food that could be stored long-term, milk, cream, because of the alcohol content. So this isn't a survival drink unless you're trying to survive Christmas, but you don't want to just survive it. You should be enjoying it. We're going to make some. I've shared this a few times over the years on the channel. It's a holiday tradition. In fact, in the Americas, the tradition of eggnog is deeply rooted in our founders. George Washington loved eggnog. There is a recipe that supposedly came from George Washington's very own pen with rye whiskey, because George had the largest rye whiskey still in the Americas. All that said, we usually make this stuff in October. We're a little behind this year. It's mid-November, and this stuff will sit until Christmas time. We'll probably crack a jar on Thanksgiving, but it can sit for months in a refrigerator because it's about 50% alcohol. This is not for children. It's not for guzzling. It's for enjoying, and it's a high-quality drink made with just a few ingredients: egg yolks, sugar, cream, milk, of course the alcohol, and a little bit of nutmeg, and a pinch of salt. It's delicious, it's nutritious, it's amazing, fit for a Christmas king. We're about to show you a video of us making it, no outtakes taken out, and you're probably gonna laugh a little bit, but you're gonna get a better idea of what real eggnog is, have a little fun, and maybe you can try to make some for your family by getting off to the grocery store today. Let's do it together. And 72 egg yolks. Look at this. If you like eggnog, that's what's in real eggnog. Dump it. That's a lot of sugar, although we cut the sugar by 25%. Now let's beat it. Beat it, beat it. I sound so much like Michael Jackson. We might get a copyright infringement. Beat the snot out of that. And 38 minutes later, if you don't do this, you'll ruin the nog, and nobody wants a ruined nog. What are you doing? Oh yeah, that's a lot of raw eggs and sugar, so you got to have adequate booze to create a sterile environment. So don't skimp, because you don't want grandma drunk. Don't let grandma have it then. Hennessy, cognac, 6 cups. Quality whiskey or bourbon. In this case, we'll use Chattanooga. 6 cups of whiskey or bourbon. And then 6 cups of decent rum. You know, if you put shit booze in here, then the end product will taste like shit, and nobody wants to drink shit at Christmas. And nothing says not shit like Mount Gay. Yeah. Give it a little more. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, yeah. That's rather nice. It's time for the dairy. We'll go with, so this is a 6 multiplied recipe. So we'll go 8 pints, 1 gallon of whole milk straight from the cow's teat. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're lactose intolerant? Well, good. Have yourself a glass of this stuff, boy. Check that out. And then, wait a minute. Wait. Not 1. 2 quality heavy cream. We would use the other brand of that milk. The store was out of it. Don't use shit ingredients, for F's sake. You use shit ingredients, you're going to make shit, and as we already discussed, it's Christmas. You're not serving your family shit. That'd be super weird. Oh, I love going to Grandma's house. She gives me shit for Christmas. Is that the kind of person you want to be? All right, I think that this stock pot is quickly running out of room because we still have 18 cups of brown liqueurs. Oh, wait, what? Now, you could just eat that right now. 18 raw eggs, 4 pounds of sugar, 18 cups of dairy. It'd probably make you really sick. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but gross. Look at this up close as it's bubbling. My stomach hurts. Let's mix it. One batch of this stuff is 1 dozen eggs. It's 1 cup of rum, 1 cup of cognac, 1 cup of bourbon, 1 pint of half and half, 1 pint of whole milk, 1 pint of heavy cream, or more heavy cream, less half and half. It's going to be a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ground nutmeg, 1 pound sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt. I always add a little cinnamon, and I do less sugar. So we 6 times this recipe, and we did 6 dozen eggs, 18 pints of dairy, 6 cups rum, 6 cups cognac, 6 cups bourbon, 4 pounds of sugar instead of 6 pounds. It'll be 6 teaspoons of nutmeg. It'll be 1.25 teaspoons of sea salt or kosher salt. I think we'll use sea salt. And then we'll put some fresh cinnamon in there. And then we always put a little bit of secret love sauce in there, but I can't tell you about it because Santa Claus might get upset. That dairy really thinned out that lovely egg. So here's what I'm looking at. We still got sugar that's got to get dissolved. Now the next problem to sort out. We've got 18 cups of booze to mix into this. So, pretty cool recipe. I went on an eggnog hunting recipe years ago because people are like, oh, my grandma, my uncle's got the greatest recipe. No, this one is. And maybe they haven't because it's a fairly well-known recipe. Alton Brown shares a version of this if you're not into professional TV personality chefs. Alton's one of my favorites. But the recipe comes from what university? Rockefeller University. It's an old recipe that's been in existence well over 100 years. There's a cool story. So go to your Google and you can research eggnog and Rockefeller University and you'll read a story. You'll find it pretty easily about how one of the science labs every year makes this recipe. And then they go to the refrigerator in the lab and they take out, and I'm guessing over 100 years ago while refrigerators existed, I bet they just left it on the shelf, I'm guessing. So the class that makes the recipe takes the previous year's class out. They do some tests to see what kind of bad stuff's living in it. And then they drink it as a Christmas toast. And then the recipe they made, they put in the fridge. So the following year, the kids or students, because they're probably not kids, they're in medical school or whatever, doing lab work. Anyway, it's delicious and it doesn't go bad. And it's because of the high volume of God's elixir, brown liquors. And if you try to cut that, you are going to be creating something that can make people sick. So that's why it's got so much. And this isn't like a sit down and drink 8 glasses. Basically, you're going to pour, 7, 8 cups of it per person. I'm kidding. It's going to be an ounce or 2 of this that you're going to drink, and you're going to sip it slowly. You can put it on ice. You can pour it over some ice cream. You know what's really nice? You can make like a delicious chocolate torte or chocolate cake and pour this over it. Oh my God. You leave that for Santa Claus, he's coming back to your house every time with the goods. Yeah. But we'll see. So I'm just going to have one drink before we finish. This is bourbon. And like I said, don't use shite bourbon. So we showed you the Chattanooga bourbon. We were like a half cup short, so I had to bust out the tail end of this McKenna Henry McKenna. So bourbon goes in. Oh yeah. So that was 6 cups of bourbon. Now, cognac. Remember the movie Clue? The French maid. She said cognac. I don't know if you remember that or not. I'm just going to have one little sip of cognac. And 6 cups. All right, delicious. All right, so I'm only going to have 2 drinks. And that smells delicious. Then, now it's starting to smell right. A little Mount Gay, some rum. Sugar cane. All right, so that ain't enough. Whoa. Let's be a little careful there and there. Okay, we got enough left for maybe 1 drink. So, it's beautiful, that color. And there we go. Okay, so we've now achieved enough alcohol that we know that this isn't going to make anybody sick from the eggs. Man, this is a bummer. All right. Whatever. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? So now we got to get some spices. Let's go ahead and stop that. Do you? Do you know what that is? That is nutmeg. Check this out. Look inside there. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells delicious. So we're going to grind up at least 1 1/4 teaspoons, also known as teaspoons, which is not very much, but this stuff's potent as shite. So really this what the hell is this thing? A seed, isn't it? A seed pod. I think it's a seed. You guys look it up. Tell me what it is in the comments. But we're going to grind this sucker in there. And I tell you, the grinding it fresh is way more flavorful and aromatic, because when you grind coffee or spices like this, they start to dry out almost immediately. So if you can get fresh, do that. Same with cinnamon. We'll grab some of that next. This cool area we go of Costa Rica, the trees, cinnamon trees grow there, and you can like kind of just scratch it and smell your finger, and it smells like cinnamon. So this recipe actually doesn't call for cinnamon, but I think that you're wrong if you don't. So same thing. And there's different ways that you can do this. I kind of like the bigger chunks. What happens is this stuff sits, it'll sink to the bottom, and you can shake them a little bit every couple of days, or just turn them over and let the stuff sift through. But once you go to drink it, all this stuff's going to be sitting on the bottom. So it's not like you're going to be eating these chunks of cinnamon. So we're going to put 1 1/4 teaspoons of the nutmeg and maybe about a half teaspoon of cinnamon in there. How about just drop that whole sucker in there? Firm due to tell me when you're filming. Okay. Oh, you're actually filming now?
Yeah.
Anyway, we confirmed it is indeed a seed. Where's it come from?
It comes off of the tree.
But from where? Like your mom's house?
No, a nutmeg tree.
But where's a nutmeg tree grow? Where do they grow?
The Spice Islands of Indonesia.
Indonesia, okay. That's interesting, because like when you smell this, it makes us think of like Christmas, but in reality, it's the frickin' tropical island of Indonesia, which is not a Christmas place at all.
It smells amazing.
It does smell amazing. Look at that nice little puddle of it. Actually, the best way to do it, you can go ahead and shove that down. Which, by our recipe, we've got enough of it. It's potent stuff. And it's delish. I got lazy. I hit it with a couple hits of, I almost dropped that in there, cinnamon. I grabbed this turkey fryer, and I thought, because our batch is getting pretty big, the little valvication here, this little guy right here, will work perfect to go right into the... Actually, we could even refill these bad boys. Mount Gay bottle would be nice to take. Mount Gay! What are you doing this weekend? Climbing Mount Gay. What are you doing? Making a big old bucket of nog with my Mount Gay. That's it. She done. She done. Oh, oh, oh. What did we forget, kids? Calling it. Don't want to go too much of that. We'll destroy it. So what I think is we'll give this a couple minutes to rest, and then we'll start filling. And the one problem when you fill, like I'll just show you this bottle. You fill this bottle up and it looks full, and then you set it, let it rest. It gets all bubbly as you're filling, and all of a sudden the bubbles settle down and the bottle's only 2/3 full. So when we entrain a bunch of air into this stuff with the process, you want to save basically like a whole bottle full in your stock pot so that you can top all the bottles off. That liquidy goodness. Oh, all right. Oh. Oh, look at that. Repurposing the booze bottles is the best way to do this. Oh, 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 oh. And the one thing, a little drippy drip. The one thing that I like to do is take a little, just a spritz on top. And then, if you can look inside, I don't know if you can, then the top's got a nice little smattering. There we go. By way of over 100 years of testing and drinking and having Christmas cheer, homemade eggnog that's uncooked with high quality ingredients, in this case organic eggs and organics creams and milks and good quality booze. You know, you could buy whatever you want. You could definitely cut the cost down by buying I don't want to say cheaper, but more budget-friendly stuff. Then if that's the case, just buy some store-bought freaking eggnog and dump some booze in it. This is a primo drink. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Remember, drink this stuff in moderation. And if you're lactose intolerant, drink 2 of these. Hey, wait, you know what we forgot?
What's that for you?
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It's not shutting off. Can you grab that? Fuck.
When you
Hold
want
on.
it.
You gonna let that one overflow?
It might.
Don't let it overflow. So you might be into a big old Magnum bottles of Christmas cream. Or maybe little shorty, fatty, round ones. Wide mouths, narrow mouths, drunken mouths, gay mountain mouths. I don't even know what I'm saying. Do the whole thing again. Well, there you have your noggin bottled. Got a various smattering of bottles from some that we purchased over the years at craft stores. Repurposed creme bottles, little short fatties. Repurposed booze bottles. And of course, canning jars. Any of it'll work. I like using these because you can leave them at friends' houses. One, they know you spent a lot of money on liquor when you leave the tag on there, but you're not going to get upset because they don't give you your fancy store-bought bottle back. Anyway, the longer you let it sit, the creamier it becomes. There's no little elves that won't like this, and just make sure you don't let the kids guzzle it. One, because it's a crime, and two, they're going to be wasted. Merry Christmas, mofos. Trying to figure out which rum to get. Appleton Estate sounds good, but check this one out. Mount Gay. That's the one I'm going with. Let's go with that. Well, that was abrupt. It's just 4th of July. Every Christmas I say it's about to be 4th of July, and every 4th of July I say it's about to be Christmas. Get after it. Life don't last that long.